genuinely asking for advice. Where do I go to find a man? I've tried the golf course, the gym, the coffee shop, the grocery store. I mean, I don't know what to do anymore.
This has to be one of the stupidest questions I have ever heard. Where do I find men? What planet is she living on? There are men all around her. About 5 years ago, my partner and I were out to dinner with a female friend, and she would not stop complaining about how hard it was for her to find a man. This is a true story. She pulls out her phone, shows us this dating app called like the Inner Circle or something. It's this invite-only app. And she's showing us message after message of all these guys shooting their shot. And she was complaining about the fact that she couldn't find a man. She was swimming in options. I mean, how is it possible to be simultaneously both that blind and entitled? Even with their privileged position in the dating market, women are still painting themselves to be victims, taking no responsibility, pretending that society is just this wasteland of horrible men and women have no options.
I am fucking done. I am done begging a motherfucker to love me, done begging him to spend time with me. Like, I swear, some of us women have more balls than you coward ass men. You take good women and you fucking break us down till we can't take no more, till every fucking man we see makes us want to vomit. I don't know what it's like to be in the presence of a real man, a leader, somebody that you know is going to protect you.
And that is your fault. I'm sorry, I know that it makes some people uncomfortable to see such a callous response to a woman who's obviously in pain, but God help me, on this issue, I have just run out of empathy. Women, if you can't find a man, that's your fault. Stop whining, stop complaining, stop playing the victim, take some accountability. I ran a poll on my channel asking men if they were responsible for their current level of success or failure in the dating market. Despite the fact that they are men and they're existing in a dating market that is brutally stacked against them, still over 80% of the men say yes. It's on me. I'm responsible for my level of success or failure. You ask modern women about their level of success with men. Do you think you're going to get 80% of them saying, yes, it's my responsibility?
I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I hate men. I hate them all. Nobody has proven me wrong on this theory. They're either assholes out the womb, or they become assholes over time through experience. I hate them all.
That's your answer. You ask one of these women, so you're not married yet, you haven't been successful in finding a man. Is the issue with you, or does every single man on this planet suck? It's all men's fault. She's perfect. There is no shortage of good men. The real reason why so many modern women are single these days is because they don't know what they want. Life has been so cushy for them, they've had all their needs catered to for so long that they've never actually bothered to sit down and figure out what it is that they want. You ask one of these modern women what she wants and then just listen to the nonsense word salad that spills out of her mouth.
Would you prefer a masculine man or a submissive man?
That's a good question. I want masculine, but also I want him to submit, but only to me.
Submit in what way? What do you mean?
Like, take care of me, do what I say,
Okay.
when I say.
Would you really want a man to do that, though? Wouldn't you want a man to be more dominant?
I do. Like, if we're going to dinner, I want him to say, we're going here, and we're going to eat this.
So you like that?
Yeah.
You like it more of a masculine man then, right?
Yeah.
It took her 2 seconds before she contradicted herself. She has no idea what she wants. Men don't have the privilege to be that vague. We know that life is going to be tough. Nobody's going to come along and help us. There's certainly not going to be any sympathy for us if we fail. With that kind of pressure, if a man wants to live a high-quality existence, he knows without a shadow of a doubt that he's going to have to be the one to make that happen. It's not going to be handed to him. If he's going to succeed at life, he's going to have to focus. He's going to have to think things through. He needs to have a thorough awareness of what he wants and how he's going to achieve it. High-quality women, bless them, they're like that too. But so many of these modern women, they don't know what they want. They have nothing positive to shoot for. That's why instead of articulating what they're looking for, what would be a positive influence on them, what would enrich their lives, instead all of the focus goes onto the negative, all the things that a man can't do. There's this TikTok account that demonstrates this point just perfectly. It's called Guy with a List. It's so funny. I'm going to play a couple of his videos.
What's your biggest ick?
When a guy is putting their blinker on, I just feel like that's such a feminine thing to do. Like,
What's your biggest ick in a guy?
Like when they... No, okay.
Say it. Say
no,
it.
No, no,
Run it.
that was so mean. I was gonna say if they're like really nice, it's such an ick.
And I'm just going to play one more.
Your biggest red flag in a guy?
When he's one of the boys. Yeah.
So he just can't have any mates?
Credit to him, they're funny videos, man. But ladies, let me tell you this, if you are approaching dating like this with just a long list of the things that you don't want, I promise you, you will not find satisfaction or happiness. How could you? You don't know what you're looking for. You can't just drift through life and hope to wash up on the beach of some amazing man. Women, you need to put down your emotions. You've put the cart before the horse. Emotions were never meant as a cognitive tool of decision making. Emotions, they're a wonderful way of experiencing the impact of decisions that you've already made. Like you made a bad decision and then you feel sad when those consequences arise, or you make really great decisions and then you feel happiness and joy. That's the appropriate use of emotions. But emotions were never meant to be a guide for how to make decisions. No, for that you have to think. You have to use logic, reasoning, rationality. You have to ask yourself the question, what is it that I want? And are my actions actually likely to lead me to achieving that outcome?
What were some of the things you were told about men while growing up?
Don't trust them. Yeah, I agree with that one.
What is the most surprising thing you've learned about men from your experiences?
You can't trust them. Facts.
Do you prefer a man who is a gentleman or a bad boy?
Bad boy. Bad boy.
Is it fair to say women lust after bad boys but want to settle down with nice guys?
Yeah.
If you happen to be looking for a quality man, where would you expect to find one?
Quality man?
Church.
Yes,
When was the last time you went to church?
How does anybody expect to achieve happiness or satisfaction when they don't know how to achieve what they want? In many cases, they don't even know what they're looking for. This seems so basic, so elementary that it would be almost condescending to have to spell it out. But that's what I'm going to do. I know women don't like it when men tell them what to do, so this is your fair warning. If you're a feminist and you think you're going to get offended by a man thinking that he knows better how to run your life than you do, fair warning, you're not going to like what you're about to hear in this video, so click out, exit now. And while the women in my audience are thinking over whether or not they want to keep watching this video, let me talk to the men in my audience about my latest project, the Hero Circle. Would you benefit from being part of a discussion group of like-minded men that meet every single week to have fun, make jokes, give each other shit, but also support each other, get real, be vulnerable, explore emotions, talk about life goals and values? In 2022, the Cigna Group reported that 57% of men are lonely, which is an insane number. Men need relationships with other men, not just to drink beer and watch sports with, although that can be fun, but also to be real with. That's what we do in the Hero Circle. These are online discussion groups for men where we talk about what's going on in our lives and give each other honest feedback. I've been running 2 Hero Circles for over a year, and now I'm expanding. We've got a great team, some new facilitators. And the Hero Circle is my opportunity to run a mental health project for men according to my values, my understanding of psychology. And this is my invitation to you to get involved. I have a website that you can check out. You can look at some of the testimonials from men who've been part of the groups, how it's helped them. There's a big Q&A section that will answer all your questions. And if you're interested, you're curious, you want to know more, then just book a time with one of the facilitators who's running a group in the appropriate time zone for you. The initial consultation is free of charge. You can ask all of your questions, but I recommend you act now because spots are limited. I do hope to expand more in the future, but click on the link in the description box below if you'd like to find out more. Okay, back to women complaining about how they can't find a man. What is my advice? Women, you have to ask yourself, do you know what you're looking for, and are you taking action right now to help you achieve that goal? So let's take the typical desires of a woman. She wants a good man who treats her well, who's going to provide, who's going to protect, and is going to be a good father to any future children. Basic stuff, okay? Now, let's say that this is what a woman wants. Now, logically, thinking this through, what is she doing right now to help her achieve that goal? What does she need to be able to do? The first thing is, if you want a good man with good values, you need to be able to recognize such a man when he presents himself in front of you. And so many modern women fail at this very basic task.
I'd rather be with him and he treat me horribly wrong than be with you and you treat me right.
And that's why you have no hope, because your values are completely messed up. Even if a good man was to come along, you wouldn't be able to recognize him because you don't know what a good man is. A good man doesn't treat you horribly wrong. I mean, how lost are women like this? But let's say you do the work, you clarify your values, and you now know what a good man looks like. The next question is, do you deserve him? Have you been working on yourself to make sure that you've earned the right to be his partner?
What do you bring to the table?
I'm not going to answer this question. This is just something that I wouldn't answer in a date. I'm not going to answer here.
Fine.
I'm not going to answer how many books I've read.
Okay, what do you expect men to bring to the table?
Integrity, clarity, consistency, strong connection to divinity, not necessarily religion, but some kind of purpose-based lifestyle.
So what is the female equivalent of that?
The same.
Then why wouldn't you just say that at the table when he asks you?
If he's a high quality man, then he's going to have options. You need to have a good answer to the question, why would he settle down with you specifically when there's all these other women out there? If he's a top quality guy, then you've got to work on yourself to make sure that you're worthy of him. You've got to fix your mental health issues. You've got to raise your self-esteem. You've got to be in touch with your femininity. Make sure you've got good values. And understand, these things don't just happen. It's not a case of random luck. You have to think about it. You have to work, plan, follow through. That's especially true with the next step, because let's say you are worthy of that high quality man. You've got to ask yourself the practical question, how are you going to meet him? At the club, on Tinder? Because let me tell you, if that's your plan, then you're clearly not taking this seriously. If you want to meet a quality man who is capable of committing in a loving relationship, then you need to be spending time with your female friends who are married to good men. That's the social circle you need to be spending time with so you can meet a man who has similar values. In a friend group, if all of the guys are really top quality and they're all committed to their wives, then any single men who are still in that friends group are going to be great candidates for you to marry. That's how you're going to meet the quality man you desire. Just randomly swiping through dating apps or sitting there at the club looking pretty, hoping that just some awesome guy randomly comes across you is not gonna cut it. You're not entitled to be that lucky. And you really need to stop spending time with any trashy single friends that's not moving you closer to your goal.
Something y'all did that nobody knows about.
I had a threesome with my best friend and my fiance's best friend. My fiance wasn't there. He doesn't know about it.
You guys are crazy.
All right, let's zoom in on these girls' faces while their friend confesses to cheating on her fiance with a threesome with these two other dudes. This girl here in the middle, she's laughing, right? She thinks it's funny. She's a lost cause. But this girl, she looks panicked, and she should be. She's thinking, wait, what? You did what? What did you just confess to? I mean, I might be projecting here, but I'm hoping based on the facial expression I'm seeing here that her internal monologue is, who the fuck are these people that I'm friends with? I need to make some changes in my life. I need to be friends with some more quality women. Fundamentally, I just don't buy the victim narrative that says that women who aren't with a good man are just the result of bad luck. Because once a woman actually starts to think this through, she gets clarity on what she wants and she comes up with a plan as to how she can make that happen, it's incredible how quickly things can begin to shift. I'm going to show you a clip of a woman who did not take dating seriously in her early years, but then suddenly in her mid-30s, she's like, wow, I now realize I really do want marriage. I really want children. Okay, I got to take this seriously. I got to make this happen.
I had to change my mindset. I decided that I do want to get married. I'm worthy of marriage. And the next person that I date has to be marriage material or it's not happening. I'm not going to spend the next 3 years with someone, the next 4 years with someone, because I was in one long relationship after the other with non-marriage material men. So I changed the way I was thinking. I changed the type of men I was dating, and that was it. And a year later, we are engaged. But a lot of it had to do with the way I talked to myself, the way I treated myself, and the type of men that I chose to date.
It's an empowering endorsement of free will and the power that we have to change our lives when we really set our mind to something. She was wasting her time by her own admission, but then she decided to take it seriously, to change her thoughts, to change her approach, and now it's working out for her. Young women, please take note of the power that you bestow upon yourself when you actually take personal responsibility. The fact of the matter is that men are not awful. There is no shortage of good men. But there are a lot of modern women who would rather be victims than take accountability. But now I'm going to show you my favorite clip from this entire video because it shows you this is what it looks like when a woman is actually taking responsibility.
Tell me about the one that got away.
We met in college and we instantly clicked. A couple of things got in the way, different situations. If I could go back in time, I would change it. I do regret not being with him today.
And whose fault was it?
Probably mine. Yeah, I wasn't outgoing enough to say how I truly felt in the moment. I thought it was easier to not. I thought maybe I can protect myself a little bit if I didn't show my emotion. But in the end, I learned that you should just be yourself and say how you feel at all times.
Is there anything that you would do differently?
We were both in very different places in our lives, and we both didn't really have space for a relationship, but looking back now, I would have made space for that.
Would you get back with him if you could?
Of course I would.
Does he know that?
No, he's long gone. He's in a relationship right now.
Do you still love him?
Yeah, of course.
I don't fault her for her mistakes, for prioritizing her career over her relationship, for being guarded about her emotions. Lots of people make those mistakes, men and women. What makes her stand out to me is the grace with which she takes responsibility. She's learned from her mistakes and she's pledged to do things differently in the future. That is such an attractive quality. Her femininity just shines through. She's got a beautiful smile. Look at me gushing. Turns out I'm fine simping for a woman so long as she's showing a lot of accountability. I guess I'm just a simp for personal responsibility. Now, according to the poll that I referenced earlier, with 82% of the men in my audience saying that they are responsible for their current level of success or failure with women, I'm sure that the intelligent guys in the audience who've been subscribed to me for a long time have already realized the implications of everything I've said in the video. That if it's true that women need to know what they're looking for in a man and they need to take action to achieve that, then it's obviously the same is going to be true for them as men. That's right, this applies equally to both genders. Everybody needs to do this. The only difference really is that it's so much more difficult for men in the dating market. And because it's more difficult, there are actually a few additional steps that men need to take that women have the luxury of not being able to fulfill. So I'm not saying that this is fair. There's not a place where there's equality, but if you are a man and you want to take personal responsibility, you want to know what you're shooting for and you want to have an action plan on how to get it, then that's what I talk about in the full-length version of this video, which is available on my Patreon. That's sort of how it tends to go in my videos, is that the first part is generally like critical of women. That seems to be more popular. And then there's a more nuanced part of my audience that wants the self-empowering, pro-male stuff. Well, how do I use this information positively? And I save that for my Patreon content. So if that describes you and you want access to that, then please come and join me over on Patreon.